In Major League Baseball, players must seize the opportunity when it arises. No Astro has done that more than Angel Sanchez. Now 7th in the National League in hitting, he'll try to stay hot against the National League West San Diego Padres. Next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the homestand rolls on. It's the first of 4 between the Astros and the San Diego Padres. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros 2-4 on this homestand now. 4 big games remaining against the club, which shocked a lot of people last year, the Padres, J.D.
Yeah, Padres come into town much like the team last year. They pitch very well, but they don't score runs. You know, the baseball season, Brownie, is a long and winding road. You never know how things are going to play out, but young players have to take advantage of opportunities when given them, and Angel Sanchez has certainly done that. With Barmes' injury, he's gotten a chance to play shortstop every day so far this year and has really delivered. He has an uncanny ability to put the bat on the ball, leads the club in hitting, among the league leaders in hits and batting average. We'll see how far he can ride it. And Matt Downs, he's only had 12 at-bats coming off the bench, made the start yesterday at third base. He's already got a game-winning double under his belt, a big home run in the rally last night against Zambrano. He's going to get a start again tonight. We'll see how things shake out for Downs going down the road.
So those two guys could be, once again, key performance. And the Padres will be facing Bud Norris in just a moment.
Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. We are having another wonderful night for baseball here at Minute Maid Park. Crowd continues to come in. The temperature 79 degrees at game time, humidity 67%, the wind right to left at 15, gusting as much as 29. The roof is open, so if you're in the vicinity, still plenty of time to see big league baseball as the Astros take on the San Diego Padres. As the Astros take the field, it's time for us to take the booth. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies upstairs to call all the action, guys.
Thank you, Greg. It is a gorgeous night, and it's the opener of this 4-game set. And, of course, the Astros will have an engagement in San Diego later on. Padres won 5 of 7 from Houston last year. Here is the starting lineup for Bud Black's club. He was manager of the year last year. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Will Venable leads off. He's in right field. Chase Headley's the third baseman. At second, it's Orlando Hudson. He had the game-winning hit yesterday in the 9th inning. Ryan Ludwig is the cleanup man in left fielder, with Nick Hundley, one of the hot hands for the Padres, doing the catching. Brad Hopp's at first base this season. Cameron Maben's the new center fielder. Jason Bartlett is the new shortstop. And it's Dustin Mosley on the mound.
And on the mound for the Astros tonight, right-hander Bud Norris. This is his third start. You look at the lines for the first two. And struggled against the Phillies the first time out, allowed 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Last time against the Marlins was going along nicely, but a 3-run 6th inning was his undoing. So in that ball game, allowed 4 earned in 6 innings. 0-1 so far this year with an ERA of 8.10. And defensively, the Astros set up this way. Michael Bourne's out there in center on the corners. It's Pence and Rightly and left. Infield has Matt Downs getting another start at third base. Had a real nice game last night. Sanchez Hall Wallace cover short, second and first. And Humberto Quintero behind the plate.
There is a strong breeze, and it's blowing out to left center field over toward the left field corner. That could affect balls hit in the air tonight. Bud Norris takes a moment, goes behind the mound. This Padre club comes off a 3-5 homestand, beginning a 7-game road trip tonight. 4 here and 3 in Chicago. Padres are 5-6 to open the season. Will Venable, with a 156 average, has 1 RBI. But lately has been drawing bases on balls, 6 in the last 6 games, 360 on base average in that span. And there's ball 1 from Bud Norris. On Saturday against Florida, he got a no decision, giving up 4 runs in 6 innings. He had a 3-1 lead after 2 in that. Catches the corner, and it's 1-1. Bud Black's club, in his 5th season as Padres manager, has been retooled. He got tossed from the game yesterday.
Before.
Well, a very legitimate point with the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez, on a check swing. 2 balls and a strike.
Padres rolled in here about 2 o'clock in the morning after their game in San Diego yesterday.
3 players giving chase to this one, and Carlos Lee is inside the left field line, and Bud Norris gets one in the air for out number 1. Now, they do a lot of travel. Those West Coast clubs put on a lot more travel miles than the teams in the Central. And you see that windy night.
Now, sometimes when I leave the ballpark, I'll walk across the field to go out to the parking garage. And last night the flags were blowing out like that when I left, but there was a lot of wind in my face as I walked down the first base line. So I don't know if that's, throughout the game, if it feels the same way or what goes on with the wind patterns. But I was surprised. It felt like it would knock the ball down to right, not just push it to left, but would knock the ball down to right field.
Now, that can be a little misleading sometimes, just looking only at those flags. Chase Utley has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You saw his numbers. And so we'll watch that throughout the evening. Sometimes the pattern changes. It did a couple nights ago, but usually it's pretty consistently out in that direction. Strength of it is a little different tonight. It's a stronger wind than we normally have. And we're hearing that tomorrow night will be quite a bit cooler, so that wind may turn around and come in from the north tomorrow. Chase Headley last year drove in 58 runs for the Padres. Did well against the Astros. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count still to Headley, 26 years old, from the University of Tennessee.
Oh, look at the foul pole swaying in the breeze there. Listen to that wind.
Whoa. It's a blizzard in here tonight.
Rudolph.
Sharply hit by a lunging Bill Hall into right center field, and that's a single for Headley. Padres have really struggled. They're hitting only .214 as a team, and they are 14th in runs scored in the National League.
That's Headley. But the Padre hitters, they probably enjoy going on the road more than any other group of hitters in the league. It's such a difficult ballpark to hit in Petco Park.
It is.
So the pitchers are probably not all that thrilled to leave, but the hitters don't mind getting out of Dodge for a few days. Good swing there by Headley.
The O-Dog, Orlando Hudson, has come from the Minnesota Twins as a free agent to join the Padres this season. And he had the game winner for them yesterday in the ninth inning, 317 with 3 runs batted in. There's strike one to Orlando Hudson, switch hitting second baseman, 4 Gold Gloves collected by this 32-year-old infielder from Darlington, South Carolina. He scored the tying run in the 8th inning yesterday, then hit a bases loaded opposite field single with 2 outs in the ninth, and the Padres beat the Reds 3-2. Reds had won the first 2 of that series. So the Padres struggling to get their offense on track, but that was the case last year. They did what they did on tremendous pitching. They were 15th in batting average last year, 12th in runs scored. They won a lot of low scoring games. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hudson.
But reaching 93 miles an hour with that fastball, he's always had that ability since we've seen him, to have his good stuff early. Some guys, it takes a while to get that velocity up. We saw that yesterday with Zambrano, who started the game 85-86 before finally getting it up to 91 or 2.
In tight, snap throw to first. The early warning system goes off, and Headley is diving back in.
And it's a good pitch to do it on. You get a ball moving in on a left-handed hitter where you can slide back behind him, use him as a screen, and then make that quick snap throw.
Pretty close play there. Humberto Quintero saw his opening, and he likes to throw to the bases. He's a former Padre. That's a strike on the edge, 2-2. Todd Tichenor is the home plate umpire. If Bud Norris gets that call tonight, he could bang away out there for a while. Hudson's been on base in every game for the Padres this season. He's on a 9-game hitting streak, hitting .361 during that stretch. In the dirt, and it's a full count. Now the Padres like to run. Headley has not attempted a steal, but sometimes it's a case of putting a runner in motion rather than attempting a steal.
And Bud's pretty good at missing bats. His strikeout rate among the best in the league last year. So that's the concern for Bud Black. If you start a runner, that's the other concern. You get too big of a lead, he'll pick you off. He's got one of the better right-handed pickoff moves in the league as well. Watch how quick the feet are. At times, it cost him. He threw a couple of balls away last year, so you have to be a little judicious with it.
Runner going. Bouncer behind him, on through into right field. Headley continues to move, and he gets to third base. Bill Hall was breaking for the bag, and a single by Hudson gives him a 10-game hitting streak. First and third for Ryan Ludwig.
Trying to stay out of the double play. They start the base runner. Hall had coverage, and Hudson able to pull that ball through the hole on the right side. So the Astros felt like he was more likely to hit the ball to the shortstop side than to pull it. Hudson able to get out around that one.
Now the former Cardinal Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig is trying to get on track. Hudson has certainly been doing that. So he's one of the table setters now for the cleanup man.
It's interesting to watch Headley on that plate. Looking in, not once or twice, but the entire time he was running between first and second. So he could see where the ball was hit. But if it's a swing and a miss, you've got no chance to steal that base. So I guess he's just putting the burden on Hudson.
Ludwig takes that pitch up, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. Ludwig has an 11-game hitting streak against the Astros dating back to August of 2009. And in that stretch, he's hit .500, 20 for 40 against Houston. He was traded last year to San Diego by the Cardinals in July. Chases that one, and that wasn't, you use that word judicious, very good word. That wasn't very judicious to swing at a 2-0 pitch way out there. There's not much time to make up your mind.
He's just guessing strike there. 2 balls, no strikes. He's thinking, all right, he's going to throw me a fastball, and I'm going to go hit it somewhere and get myself an RBI.
He is 4 for 9 against Norris. Rolls over on that one, and it's 2-2.
With a guy who feels like, you're in the middle of the batting order. Your job is to drive in runs, so you're up there with a man on third and 1 out. And hitters have a hard time being patient in those circumstances. They want to drive that run in. That's what they're getting paid to do. And a pitcher can take advantage of that. Ludwig, good numbers with the Cardinals last year, but after the trade to San Diego, he struggled hitting just .211 for the Pods.
Fouls that one, trying to get out of the way of it. Well, the Padres are certainly hoping for much more. He drove in 69 runs overall last year. Norris has thrown 20 pitches so far. Back in 08, 113 runs batted in for Ryan Ludwig. Bud Black would quickly settle for something like that this year. And he fouls it. Bud Norris has been throwing his changeup a fair amount of the time. He's been hurt on it on some occasions, and sometimes you wonder, JD, with a young pitcher, well, whether that will deter him from continuing to use that pitch.
Well, I think he's had success with it at times too, especially that start against the Phillies. The numbers weren't good. He threw some really good ones to their left-handed hitters. So the bottom line is he's going to have to continue to use it.
Hudson bears watching. He's 5 for 5 in steals.
I mean, if you throw a fastball and that gets turned around, you don't stop throwing your fastball.
Good point. Dave Roberts is the first base coach for San Diego this season. Swing and a miss, and he didn't see that one well out of Norris's hand, and Ludwig struck out. It's a big one for Bud after falling behind 2-0 in the count.
That's the beauty of a power arm, a guy who can get strikeouts, man on third, less than 2 outs, and if you have the ability to keep the ball out of play, that is a real nice plus. Good depth to that slider. That's one of the keys when you watch Bud early in the game. Is he getting good downward movement on his slider, and is his fastball sinking as opposed to just running away from left-handed hitters?
Now the catcher, Nick Hundley, who's been supplying a good portion of their offense in the early going with a .406 average, 2 homers, 8 driven in. And he looks at strike one, a quality pitch.
Interesting to contrast that one with the strikeout pitch. That one a little smaller, a little softer, just a get over slider. And then the one he threw to Ludwig, he threw really hard and really got on top of it.
One and one. Well, with the Padres averaging 3.55 runs per game, combination of Hundley and Headley has done a nice job. And hoping for more company in the offensive department for Bud Black.
I don't know what you would call them. The hellacious H's, right? Hundley, Headley, Hudson, Hop.
Yeah, they sure do.
The 4-H club.
4-H club. And the Padres, of course, in that very interesting NL West, where all the races since 06 have been decided by less than 2 games at the end of the season, and some tremendous pitchers work in that division. So it could be difficult to put together offense. Good fastball there, makes it 1-2. Padres 190 and lost 72. They finished 2 games behind front running San Francisco last season. They were 5-2 against the Astros. They played 51 run games last season. They won 28. Up for ball 2. 2-2 with Brad Hopp on deck.
But up at 26 pitches, and that's the nature of his game. Typically runs a lot of deep counts.
And a slider works for a strikeout on Hundley. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded. Good pressure work by Bud Norris, striking out Ludwig. And Hundley, no score. For the Astros is brought to you by Xfinity. And Brad Mills' lineup card includes Michael Bourne, Angel Sanchez, Hunter Pence, Carlos Lee, Brett Wallace batting 5th at first base, Bill Hall, Matt Downs gets his 2nd straight start at 3rd because he's been so hot. Humberto Quintero also has put together excellent offensive games. He's the catcher for Bud Norris.
For the Padres tonight, it's right-hander Dustin Mosley, 29 years old, the journeyman guy, and he's pitched twice for the Padres. He hasn't won yet, but he's pitched very well. You look at the numbers: 7 innings, 1 run against the Cardinals, 6 innings, 2 runs against the Dodgers. His timing has been horrible. He's been shut out in both of those games. So despite his 2.08 ERA, he is winless for his first 2 starts.
Michael Bourne first to try him, and it's strike 1.
He's a command pitcher, not an overpowering guy. That one clocked at 87. Working the upper 80s for the most part.
Cracked bat roller goes out to a shallow Orlando Hudson. 1 out. So Michael, who has scored 11 runs in the Astros' first 12 games, goes down. We have some birthdays to report to you tonight. Lowell Matheny over in the Astros radio booth. He was born in 1961. Greg Zahn, who was to have been the Padres' backup catcher, but retired because he couldn't come back from surgery, was born in 71. Brad Ausmus, happy birthday also to Brad, who's on the Padres staff. And Pete Rose, 70 years old.
From Bogolubov.
Who is he?
He's a Russian chess master. It's also Greg Maddox's birthday today.
Oh. That was strike 1 to Angel Sanchez. You make those up.
Lowell Matheny is younger than me.
Well, you wouldn't think so.
Looks like he's about 100, that guy.
Well, he's been through a lot, but yes, he is younger than you. Angel Sanchez on a 5-game hitting streak. That's a 1-2 count. Isn't that interesting when you find out how old people are?
We got to do a separated at birth split screen between Lowell and Lewis Black.
Lewis Black?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sanchez, who's hitting .478 with 5 runs batted in during his 5-game hitting streak. He has 18 hits this year.
Look at Maben out there in center field. My goodness, is he shallow.
I bet he is. Well over toward right center. Bouncer goes to shortstop. Jason Bartlett backhanding and throwing to first. 2 outs for Mosley. Mosley has faced the Astros once as a member of the Angels in '07, just 1 inning of work.
Mosley, originally first-round pick of the Cincinnati Reds. Here are the Padres defensively. Maben, the newbie, out there in center, flanked by Ludwig and Venable. Bartlett's new, as is Hudson. Hop new to first base. Hundley behind the dish. Hadley pretty good hands down there at third.
Hunter Pence is next, looking at ball one. Hunter turned 28 yesterday. Hitting .300 now with 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. He drove in 4 runs on Tuesday. Bounces that one. It's backhanded. And Headley with the 1-hop throw on the stretch by Hop. He gets him. 3 ground ball outs for Mosley. Keep the game scoreless after 1.
You scored as we scored. For every run the Astros scored, everyone receives $2 off field box tickets for the game against the Padres Saturday. Now the Astros meet the maximum, which was $11. Those seats are now only $11. There's still some available, so visit astros.com/runs for tickets while the supplies last. You just got 2 days. Great seats to come right down close to the action to see the Astros and the Padres. That will be on Saturday. Those seats are as good as where I am right now, right on field level, guys.
Your seat is good.
It's a good bargain.
Yeah, hustle and get those tickets. Sounds like a great deal. Brad Hop will lead it off on this breezy night. Hop, 31 years old now, was drafted by the Rockies in 2000 in the 11th round. He's from Fort Worth. Played on a state championship team at Boswell High School, and then went on to LSU. Was on the College World Series championship team, the MVP of that team in 2000, taking ball one.
He has worn out the Astros over the years.
Yes, he has glittering numbers. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hop. Still trying to get it going this season at 138 with 1 RBI. Moving, as JD mentioned, from the outfield to first base this year. But .353 his lifetime average against Houston. 27 runs batted in 39 games.
His production really dropped off last year. Was let go by the Rockies and then signed by Tampa. And played in a handful of games with the Rays. Hit a .179 for them. .255 average with the Rockies last year. 3 or 4 years ago. Pretty productive hitter in that Rocky lineup. So he's kind of looking for a rebound year here in San Diego.
They had the opening at first with the trade of Adrian Gonzalez to Boston. 2-2, and Gonzalez accounted for roughly 24% of the Padres offense, and that is a huge hole for any team to fill.
Those are big shoes to fill, right? You got to replace that guy, and you got to do it in a park that's so hard to hit in.
Strikeout for Norris, 3 in a row for Bud.
But when you're at that stage of your career, as Brad is, when you're trying to reestablish, you get an opportunity to play every day, you go for it.
Good movement on that fastball away from the left-handed hitters for Bud Norris.
Going to have to shorten that stroke a little bit to catch up to Bud tonight.
Cameron Maben, another newcomer, just 24 years old. came in a trade from Florida over the winter. 243 for Maben, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Very rangy center fielder. He takes strike 1. Maben was a first-round pick of Detroit in 05. He went in the big Miguel Cabrera, Dontrell Willis deal to Florida after the 07 season. And he was traded over the winter to the Padres for pitchers Ryan Webb and Edward Mujica.
Yeah, not to diss Webb and Mujica, but that gives you an idea how Maben's stock has fallen over the years. First time he was traded, it was part of that Cabrera Dontrell deal. Dontrell was still pretty good. And now for Mujica and Webb, and Maben's still a very young guy. He's got great tools. The 10th overall pick in the draft that year in 05. So, you know, he's a plus out there in that big park in San Diego. He can cover center field, and if he figures it out offensively, then they're going to have a heck of a play in their hands. The problem with Maben throughout his career, both in the minor leagues and the major leagues, is just too many strikeouts.
92 and 291 at bats last year. That is an alarming number.
So if he gets it all together, he can put the ball in play, really cut down on the strikeouts a lot, he's got a chance to be a pretty good player. If not, he's got a chance to be Reggie Abercrombie.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was Reggie's deal. You know, great, strong, good athlete, could run, just struck out too much.
Sure did. Little roller is fouled off his foot. Now, last year, Maben with Florida hit .234. Spent some time on the DL with a shoulder sprain. Padres are hoping the change of scenery and the fact that he's a year older will parlay into a much improved player. He had a 4-for-4 game in 08 against the Astros at Florida. You saw those glittering career numbers he has against Houston. And the Padres really relied on their speedy outfielders last year to help the pitchers defensively at Petco Park in San Diego. Changeup hit in the air to left center. Carlos Lee coming over. Michael Bourne is there, and Bourne calls him off. 2 outs.
Well, Bud, very impressive work in that first inning under duress with men on the corners. Got 2 big strikeouts, Ludwig and then Hundley, and then he starts the second inning here by polishing off Brad Hop. The Astros have given up a lot of early runs this year. First, second inning runs, playing from behind quite a bit.
A 2-hopper on the ground to Downs. It throws over to Wallace to retire shortstop Jason Bartlett for a 1-2-3 second for Bud Norris, keeping the game scoreless. Close-up look. Wonder what the ratio on that zoom lens is, JD. That's a real close shot.
That was a big moon right there, Brownie.
Huge moon. San Diego has a couple of hits in the first inning, but Norris then got tough, struck out the next two to extinguish that fire at a 1-2-3 second. Now Lee, Wallace, and Hall come up against Mosley in the Astros second inning. Astros 3-9 to this point. Last year at this same point they were 3-9. But JD, what a difference in runs scored. Last year through the first 12 games the Astros had scored 28 runs. This year they've scored 55 runs.
Yeah, that's the good news. I mean, because I think most of us feel like the pitching is going to be pretty good this year. So if they can get straightened out and if they continue to score at this rate, they'll be a pretty competitive club. My fear is it's going to be difficult to continue to score at this rate because they've been getting a lot of hits, but they don't walk a lot and they don't hit home runs.
Carlos Lee fouls it away.
I think the percentages say that some of those hits that have been falling in are going to start to be caught a little bit. I hate to be Debbie Doom on that one, but it's still kind of the missing piece for this club. A little more patience, a little more power.
Carlos Lee looks at that one in the dirt. It's 1-2.
I'm not going to quibble. What, 5 straight games they had 10 hits or more, a couple of 16 hit games.
Now they're averaging 4.58 runs per game.
I'll take it.
6th in total bases in the National League. Yeah. Mosley misses with the breaking stuff, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to El Caballo. J. Happ goes tomorrow night in Game 2 of this series against Aaron Harang.
He's feasted on Padre pitching over the years.
Yeah, he really has. He hasn't gone off on a tear yet in the early games this season. Most power hitters can stay hot for a while once they get on track. Carlos has had a good batting average also, not just power in his career. This one hit slowly. Jason Bartlett in. And a stretch by Hoff. 4 ground ball outs. We go to Bart Ennis.
Yeah, Brownie, we want to remind baseball fans that Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs throughout the state of Texas. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball programs, visit your local Chevy dealer. And I'm sure if you'd like to purchase something while you're there, they'd be okay with that too.
Oh, they wouldn't mind at all. Now, those folks have a wonderful vantage point up on top of Union Station.
And a nice breeze out there tonight. Hang out, enjoy a beverage and a bite.
Strike to Brett Wallace. He's put together a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .256, 1 homer. He's driven in 6.
Be a good night to have a kite up there in Union Station.
Oh, you would. Upstairs from Mosley, the count goes to 1-1. Mosley was born in Texarkana, Texas. You mentioned he was drafted in the first round by the Reds. Then he was traded to the Angels. Then he moved along to the Yankees. Padres picked him up over the winter. 1-2. He's won 12 and lost 13 in his major league career. Last time out Saturday against the Dodgers in that 4-0 loss, he gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings. And Mosley was on the mound when the Padres were going for a sweep of their opening series at St. Louis, but he was shut out in that game, as you mentioned earlier. Jaime Garcia was the pitcher. So he has had no run support. And the Padres had not swept a 3-game series at St. Louis since Jimmy Carter was president in 1980. Bud Black's club, though, really made some inroads last season, gained a lot of respect for the way it played. Foul back. The payroll's low in the $40+ million range. And of course, the new owners still buying the club from John Moores. And we understand that those payments are being accelerated, and that purchase probably will be completed by a few months from now rather than in 2013 as his first thought. Fly ball left field. Wallace hits it pretty deep and off the wall. Ludwig chasing as Wallace is in with a double. The win may have helped him, but he has a 7-game hitting streak. That's his second double.
Ludwig just drifts back to the wall, and he got up against the wall, and he didn't have any room to jump.
He was in that Corona bottle.
Yeah.
At least it's padded out there for him. El Caballo backed into that wall on the part that was unpadded a few days ago. 2 doubles for Wallace. Now he's aboard for Bill Hall. Hall's on an 8-game hitting streak. .233 for Bill with 4 runs batted in. And a strike 1 to him. Matt Downs is on deck. Hall is 3 for 5 with a homer in his career against Mosley. Mosley last year was with the Yankees and was 4-4 with them with a 4.96 ERA. Line drive left field. There's a catch by Ludwig. Ludwig throws behind Wallace, diving back. They got him on a double play. Ludwig gun to the second baseman Hudson for a 7-4 double play with Wallace trying to get back in head first, and it's no runs a hit. Nobody left. Here's a look at that double play to end it.
Game, and tonight is Houston Fire Department and Emergency Medical Services night here, so it's only fitting that our progressive fan of the game is Terry Garrison, the Houston Fire Department chief. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me here. I think it's a pleasure to be here tonight.
What does it mean to you guys for the Astros to have a special night set aside for firefighters, EMT, first responders, and paramedics?
It's tremendous. I mean, this organization has always been so supportive to the Houston Fire Department and to the entire city of Houston, and we're just so proud to be here. I get to represent the more than 4,000 men and women of the Houston Fire Department, and I'm proud to do it.
And that's a lot of people when you factor in all of the EMTs, the first responders, all that. It's a big staff you got.
It's a giant staff. We have 92 fire stations, and we serve over 600 square miles.
Wow. Not only that, but Terry got to throw out the first pitch tonight.
Yes.
Did a pretty good job. What was that like?
I'd rather go into a house fire than actually throw the first pitch. Yeah, that was incredibly nerve-wracking, and I was glad that my wife wasn't here to see it.
But you know what? You threw a strike, guys. I got to tell you did a pretty nice job. And that was hard because you had a lot of guys in your department standing right behind home plate.
Well, they're still laughing at me, I think. It might have been a strike, but it had a lot of movement.
Well, Terry Garrison, we certainly appreciate you being with us. And congratulations, you're the progressive fan of the game. As we almost get killed by a foul ball, Brownie, I'm going to send it back to you.
Watch out. He did a great job of controlling that pitch.
Yes, he did.
Much better than most of us would do with one of those fire hoses.
That's right.
You talk about performance under pressure. And Dustin Mosley
You get hit by a foul ball, you got a first responder right there sitting next to you. You're good. You're all right.
1-2 for Bud Norris. Mosley got his first major league hit in his first start as a Padre. And he is 1 for 2 with a sac bunt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They do a tremendous job. And all those sacrifices put their lives on the line. Good to see them honored tonight. Rolled out in the hole, diving down. Sanchez behind him, looping throw in the dig. Got him! What a play by Sanchez and Wallace.
Downsy leaves his feet to try to glove. It goes right under his glove. Sanchez stays with the play. And fortunate they had Mosley going down the line. That helped a little bit, but that does not take away from the play that Angel made. It was a pretty play. And very close down there at first. He might have been safe.
Jerry Davis called him out. He might have been. He's been enjoying that Foxmo as we revisit plays like that are so close. Here it is again.
Flip a coin.
We've seen it twice and we still don't know. Now Venable. Venable looks at ball 1. Hit a fly ball to left as he opened the game. Bud Norris pitched twice last year. He was 0-1 with a 3.27 ERA against the Padres. Good heater there. Makes it a 1 ball, 1 strike count. That looks more like out from that angle.
Plus he's got really long spikes.
Yeah. 2-1. The second outing for Bud against the Padres last year was a beauty in San Diego against Kevin Correa. July 3rd, 7 shutout innings. He left with the score 0-0. The Astros lost it later 1-0. And the Padres were that type club last year. If they needed a shutout, they could get one. 3 balls and a strike puts an awful lot of pressure on the pitchers and defensive players to make just 1 run hold up. That foul. It's a 3 ball, 2 strike count. They're a little concerned about their defensive play in the early going. They've made 8 errors, but 4 have been by their pitchers.
Didn't do enough PFP in spring training. Get back out there. Get out here tomorrow before the game at 2 o'clock and field some comebackers.
Foul away. The Padres, JD, began the season with only 8 players who were on the 25-man roster at this time a year ago. That is a pretty substantial turnover for a team that almost went to the playoffs. Good slider, struck him out. That's number 4. Bud's got it going tonight.
Yeah, he had Venable all tied up. Threw high fastballs by him and then the slider down and in. A couple ugly hacks in that AB.
Chase Headley looks at ball 1. But in talking with some of the San Diego broadcasters, it appears that the general manager, Jed Hoyer, just decided that that was such a great season for the Padres. It would be really difficult to duplicate that with the same players. And of course, they made a financial decision on Adrian Gonzalez, not being able to lock him up for years to come, as it would have required to keep him in a Padre uniform, so they traded him to Boston. That was a very good pitch on 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. Headley with a big hack, swung over the top of it.
He convinced himself he was going to get a fastball.
Yeah, Q and Bud working well together tonight. And now he bites off the corner, and it's 2-2. Interesting to watch the patterns that Bud is putting together tonight and executing the pitches.
He can go anywhere right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he could throw changeup. He could go back hard in with a fastball.
Pop up, drifts back into the seats.
So the big move, of course, is Gonzalez gone. And so now you got to try to find a way to make up some of that offense. And Hudson's a pretty good offensive player. Bartlett, the shortstop, is a couple years removed from a pretty good year. Didn't do a whole lot last year. And the only way you replace a guy like Gonzalez is to go out and get another one similar to him, and that's going to cost you $100 million.
Right. 3-2 to Headley.
So you get some pieces, and you hope you can cobble it together and do the best you can do.
They lost pitcher John Garland. There's the pattern. And it's a walk. Headley takes his 8th stroll of the season. First walk for Norris. Orlando Hudson follows. Hudson singled to right field on a hit and run play back in the first inning. Well, at least the runner was moving and he hit the pitch. And the O-Dog, a .280 career hitter, he's been making pretty good contact throughout his career. Low draft choice of the Blue Jays in '97, 43rd round. And he was with Arizona, the Dodgers, and the Twins. Signed a 2-year deal as a free agent for $11.5 million to join this Padre organization. Colorado swept the Mets in a doubleheader today, 9-4 and 6-5.
Mets had the bases loaded in the 9th of that 6-5 game. Game 1 of that doubleheader. Matt Lindstrom finished it off for the Rockies, but it was wobbly, and David Wright hit a deep fly ball to right to end the ball game. Tulowitzki homered in both games of the doubleheader. He now has 7.
He's homered in 4 straight games. Nice trip to New York for Troy. Terry Collins' club really struggling now. And he had said he wanted to go 9-2 in the next 11 after the loss yesterday. So
better go 9-0.
Yeah, 1 ball, 1 strike to Orlando Hudson. Padres are in a 20-game stretch, which began last Friday without a day off, the longest of the season for them. They get that out of the way early. It's 2-1.
The West Coast teams have some difficult travel, but obviously they have the edge in terms of weather. Pretty nice out there in San Diego. You don't deal with the dog days of August like you do in much of the country.
It is a lovely city. And it's ball 3. 3-1 now. Although they had 4 rain delays in a game in San Diego several days ago. That is extremely unusual. They had to suspend the game about 2 o'clock in the morning.
They're more likely to get a bee delay than a rain delay in San Diego.
That's true. There's a walk. Back-to-back walks bring up Ludwig. And Bill Hall's coming in. Quintero out. Matt Downs over to try to help Bud Norris figure a way out of this inning.
Well, you know, we talk about Bud and his ability to miss bats, and a lot of it we talk a lot about situational hitting, but there, there's situational pitching too, and there's times when you're pitching for the strikeout and you're trying to miss bats. There are other times where you're just trying to be efficient and get outs, and that's part of the learning process. And a lot of it too, it depends on just the type of stuff that you have. But I think Bud has the type of stuff with the good movement that he gets. He could become that guy who could have some efficient innings, pitching for contact, trying to get some ground balls, but just keeping the ball down around the knees, and then overpower hitters, or try to overpower hitters when he needs to. And now he's kind of pitching his way into a situation where he might need a big strikeout.
Strike 1 there to Ludwig.
Know who you can be aggressive with, who you need to be cautious with, just in terms of how talented they are, and also what the game situation calls for.
Fouled away, and it's 0-2 to Ludwig. Bud Norris has lost his last 4 starts going back to last year.
But was awfully darn good for most of the second half of last year. Wandy really good in the second half. Happ was solid. Myers was good all year.
Reaching, it's fouled back by Ludwig. The Cardinals are at Los Angeles later tonight. Garcia versus Kuroda. 67 pitches for Norris. 40 have been strikes. Florida and Atlanta are tied 5-5 after 5 tonight in Atlanta. Gabby Sanchez hit his first home run for the Fish. Brian McCann number 2. Dan Uggla number 3 for Atlanta. Popped up. Hunter Pence can't find it. He's got his hands out, but Bill Hall tracks it out into the outfield and makes the catch. It's no runs, no hits. 2 walks, 2 men left. No score. Time of the night, and it features the great defensive work. It's our brown hand center, great hands of the game. Turned in by the Astros 5 shortstop, Angel Sanchez, and Brett Wallace at first with the dig on that ground ball in the hole by Dustin Mosley.
So Angel off to a great start with the bat, and now flashing a little leather too.
We get to announce the birth of triplets today in Houston, JD.
Really?
Waited till the 3rd inning to announce that the triplets were born to Cameron and Allison Heathcott. Triplets named Hampton, Hogan, and Hudson. Congratulations.
Good fit with his Padre club.
With all the H's, you would.
Yeah.
417 for Matt Downs. 1 homer and 5 runs batted in. He's on a 4-game hitting streak, has gaudy numbers. So he's playing again, and he bangs one off the end of the bat that loops into left center field. Good call by Brad Mills as Downs extends his hitting streak to 5 games. Chris Johnson can play tonight. His elbow's fine after being hit by a pitch 2 nights ago. But Brad Mills said, well, Chris is our 3rd baseman. He'll be in there tomorrow night, but let's just try to ride this out with Matt Downs. He's so hot. CJ's fine with that. And he's watched Downs get hit number 2 for the Astros with Humberto Quintero up next. At 292, he has 1 RBI. He has been hot. 5 hits in his last 9 at-bats. J.R. Tolles did the catching last night. Quintero had caught the 3 previous games. He's been on base in 7 of his last 11 plate appearances.
Situation here where you might be inclined to play a little hit and run. Downs is not a base stealer, but Mosley gets a lot of ground balls, and Q hits ground ball in the middle of the infield. Likely to be a double play.
Lays off that one, and it's 2-0. That could have been a double play ball right there if he had hit it.
So I think I don't think you put a play on here, 2 balls, no strikes, because you don't want Q to feel like he has to swing at a ball that might potentially be ball 3. So stay put here. If it goes to 2-1, I'm not saying you have to do it, but that would be the count to do it on.
All the way, it's 2-1. So we'll look for it.
You know, things you consider. A lot of times, people talk about the hit and run as an offensive play. It's really kind of a defensive play. It's like we're trying to stay out of a double play. We're trying to create some movement in the middle of the diamond. We're fearful of the double play. Fox Tracks brought to you by Steele, showing you how Mosley's working Q, trying to keep that ball down, looking for that ground ball. And you're hesitant to put it on if you've got a hitter you don't trust can make contact. But this combination, Mosley's not a power guy, so you feel like Q should be able to put the ball in play.
Throw goes over to first, downs back.
Tougher to put a hit and run play on when you got a guy in the mound that's throwing 96 miles an hour, blowing it by hitters.
Hawk gets it to second. There's Bartlett back to the pitcher Mosley, and they get the out call at first. Bobby Meacham coming over. It was a question of whether the pitcher's foot was on the bag. And now Brad Mills will be out. The Astros really questioning that. Jerry Davis out call at first.
3-6-1 double play. Difficult to convert. The question is, would Mosley have the bag or not? So they got their double play after all. I don't know. I mean, Jerry's got a great look at it. He's right on top of it.
Kind of like that other one. How long are his spikes?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Two double plays now the Padres have in 2 innings. Bud Norris, the batter.
I'm inclined to think he was off the bag there. What do I know?
See that. 333 for Bud Norris, 1 RBI. Did you hear the story today that Major League Baseball is considering expanding replay for next year?
I saw a headline to that effect. I did not read the story. I didn't either.
Throw across, and Norris is retired, so only 9 Astros have come to the plate in the first 3 innings, and it's scoreless.
If you'd like to contact us during the course of a game, it's not difficult. You can email. We call it Email the Booth. It actually is read first by me down on field level, and some of the questions are forwarded to JD and Brownie. Sometimes they won't get to them till after the game. Some we may comment during the game, and they also are used often during pre-games on Tuesdays, maybe even on the post-game show. It's Fox Sports Houston at yahoo.com. Your question could be answered in an upcoming pre-game. From JD and Brownie, it could be answered. Actually, it could be answered multiple times. We have a couple that we're getting in line for Tuesday, so join us any night. Email the booth, Brownie.
We'd love to have more of those questions for Tuesday nights especially, but any time is good. You're right, Greg. Thank you for that. No score after 3. Each club with 2 hits, no errors. Hundley leads it off in the 4th inning. He struck out with 2 men on to end the 1st for San Diego. Downs lets it go. Sanchez backhanding, and the throw to a stretching Wallace. Ooh, 2 plays in the hole by Angel tonight.
They've got this down. Matt runs by or dives. Angel backs him up, makes the backhanded play, and then the long throw across his body. Wally stretching out and hanging on.
That's why you want the third baseman to take it if he can. You saw how difficult a play it was for the shortstop. That throw deep in the hole across his body. Brad Hopp takes, and there's strike 1 to him. He struck out in the 2nd inning.
Bud's made 70 pitches already, so a nice efficient inning here would be very beneficial.
He pops a fastball, but Hopp takes it. Hopp has an uppercut swing. And high fastball's not a good pitch for him to try to hit, and he takes ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Hopp's a .279 career hitter. Drove in 116 for the Rockies in 07. He was a first baseman in college and in the minor leagues some. Big cut there, and it's 2-2 to Brad Hopp. He's been a strong-armed outfielder too, so the move to first is giving him this opportunity for at-bats this season. Three balls, 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Major League Baseball celebrates Jackie Robinson Day. JD will be with Bill Hall at C.E. King Middle School at 10:45 a.m.
Looking forward to visiting with those kids.
All the players will be wearing that number 42 tomorrow night. Fly ball left field toward the line for Carlos Lee. It slices away from Lee, and it's a foul ball.
You'll be out and about. Right.
Yeah, with Jason Bourgeois at the Honor Roll School at 11:30. Nelson Figueroa and Brett Dolan will be at the Velasquez Elementary School at 12:30. And Dave Raymond and Michael Bourne will speed their way to the Cullen Middle School at 1 o'clock. Michael Bourne stole 2nd and 3rd on consecutive pitches a couple of nights ago.
That's Jackie Robinson like.
It is. Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee back. The wind is going to take a ball like that, but it stays in the park. 2 outs. We go to Greg Lucas.
It's time for our AT&T Trivia Challenge. You know, Bruce Bochy managed the Padres and played with Houston, but who was the only person to manage both San Diego and Houston? Only one. Wasn't real successful, to say the least. But that's our question.
All right, we'll give you a moment to think about that. And if you need some prompting, here's a clue. Pitchers who had no hitters were removed from games.
Yeah. Well, you got to manage. You got to manage your club. You got to do what's right for your team.
Cameron Maben hit a fly ball to center. He takes strike 1. Where do you stand on that? You've got a no-hitter going after 8 innings. You've got a scoreless game, or you're down 1-0 to take you out of the game. Where do you stand on that?
I stand squarely on the mound. So you're going to have to come and get me with the crane, big fella.
1 ball and 1 strike.
We're fighting out here on the mound.
Yeah, that's tough.
Now, if the guys walk 6 or 7, it's tougher now because back when it happened with the individual we're referring to, pitch counts wasn't that big of a deal, but now everybody's so sensitive about pitch counts. The managers are in a tough situation. So the key is get the guy out early, get him out in the 6th or 7th before it gets that close to the no hitter. You let a guy go 8, you might as well let him go for it in the 9th.
Treatment for Jason Bourgeois.
How do you get hurt on the bench?
Probably flicking seeds. Probably strained a finger muscle.
One hopper. Sanchez. There's that strong arm Greg Lucas heard about on the pregame show from Angel Sanchez. And Bud Norris has a 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep this game scoreless.
to manage both the teams, and it was Preston Gomez. He was the first Padre manager and lost about 300 games in 3 years. The Astros, he had a 500 record in '74, but then got off to a awful start, 47 and 80, and Bill Burton came on. So that was a pretty good deal because Bill turned out to be one of the best Astro managers ever.
Yes, he did. 0-0 game. Two-hopper. Orlando Hudson pulled in. He throws out Michael Bourne. Dustin Mosley has that sinker working tonight. He's had his share of ground ball outs.
Indeed, he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Counting the double play.
Yes.
Clay Kirby, September 4th, 1974, had a no-hitter through 8 innings, and Preston pinch hit for him. Don Wilson of the Astros, September of '74, no-hitter through 8, and they pinch hit for him. In both cases, the pitchers were losing. They were pitching no-hitters, but they were losing. So that justifies the strategy somewhat. But I can't imagine that the Padres played, how many meaningful games. So what's another loss?
Good point.
In 1970 for the Padres.
1 ball, 1 strike.
But, I guess you can understand a manager whose main goal is to win the game.
Sure.
Why he would do it.
1 and 2. Boots pointed out that in 1969, one of Preston Gomez's coaches on the Padres was later hired and became a Hall of Fame manager. Sparky Anderson, hired by the Reds that next year. Bouncer Mosley. And he continues to get those ground ball outs. 2 away, and it's Hunter Pence coming up.
Well, the only ball that's been, there's 2 balls been hit in the air. Wallace's double off the wall, and then the line drive off the bat of Billy Hall to left. Everything else has been in the ground. On the ground.
Hunter hit one on the ground back in the first inning to third base.
Well, Downs' base hit was a little line drive, too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Got it over shortstop off the end of the bat. Baltimore leads 5-3 at Yankee Stadium. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Markakis hit his 2nd home run of the year. Phil Hughes gave up 5 runs in 4 1/3 for the Yankees. Strike, and there's an 0-1 count for Mosley, and his pitch count is really, really low. 37. Boy. One ball, 1 strike. 37 pitches for 3 2/3 innings.
A walk in the park.
I bet it is. Getting ground balls early in the count. 2 double plays, 1 on a line drive. 1 and 2. That's a way to conserve pitches. It's almost Greg Maddux like, JD.
It's in honor of Maddox's birthday. That's why he's pitching this game.
That's right. Curveball's top foul. It's still 1 and 2 to Hunter. What a thrill he and the other Astros people had who went to former President Bush's for lunch. Talking with former president and his wife Barbara. Special thrill for those guys. And to top all that, it was Hunter's birthday.
You have a presidential cake?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. Still 1 and 2. Padres starting pitchers have the best ERA in the National League, 2.97. But they're 3 and 4 as a group. They lost John Garland off last year's staff. They gained Mosley and Aaron Harang, who starts tomorrow night. And Aaron Harang seems to be an excellent fit for Petco Park. He has had 2 very good starts. 2 and 2.
Yeah, he'll just let him hit him out there to Maben all day.
3 and 2. And Maben has not had a chance tonight with Mosley on the mound. Fouled away.
He's got good breaking stuff, good command of his breaking stuff, and he's thrown enough of it where he's been able to keep the Astro hitters off of the fastball, and that was a good example of it there. That pitch taken in isolation looks like a pretty good pitch to hit. It's not a real hard thrower. It's out over the plate a little bit, but because of the soft stuff and the good breaking ball, it was a little bit tied up by that fastball.
Bouncer slowly hit, bringing in Hudson. He gets it over to Hop. And it's 3 more ground ball outs in the 4th inning. A total of 10 in the game. Of the 12 outs for the right-hander, Mosley no score.
Is brought to you by Whataburger, just like you like it. By Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. And by AT&T.
It is Bud Norris and Dustin Mosley in a 0-0 battle after 4. Here's the 5th inning, and Jason Bartlett looks at ball 1. Bartlett hit the first pitch on the ground at third base in the 2nd inning. Big difference in pitches thrown by these two right-handers. That one goes in the air to shallow left center. Michael Bourne pursues it. There's a 2-pitch out. We go to Bart Ennis.
Hey fans, bring your dog out to Minute Maid Park this Sunday for Dog Day, presented by HEB when the Astros take on the Padres at 1:05. Dog Day tickets include a bullpen box seat for you and your pooch, and the Pooch Parade and Costume Contest. Yes, I said costume contest. Go to astros.com/dogday to get those tickets tonight. And a P.S. on behalf of the grounds crew, bring your scooper or a bag or something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
First baseman's mitt with a handle attached to it.
Yeah, that'll do.
Dustin Mosley takes ball 2. He grounded out in the hole. Sanchez made that brilliant play to get him in the 3rd inning. So Bud Norris can't match the ground ball outs, but can certainly match the zeros and hits allowed by Mosley.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting. It's kind of like, you got a golfer like Bud's John Daly, right? He's the power guy, and Mosley's he's just working around. He's Corey Pavin.
Okay, that's bunted foul and hit him in the box, so that was not in fair territory. If it had hit him in fair territory, he would be out. And Quintero was arguing that point with Todd Titchener.
See, very difficult to tell exactly when it got him, but it looked like he was still in the batter's box.
Looked like it.
He was laughing about something, so I don't think it was a real contentious argument.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Now that's 5 for Bud Norris. He continues to average more than 1 strikeout per inning for his major league career.
That's what Bud wanted that to be a foul ball because he wanted to get that punch out. And he had him. Strikeout pitchers think that way. I'd rather strike him out.
Will Venable, 28 years old, from Green Bay, California, is the son of Max Venable, former major league outfielder. Max is a minor league coach with the Padres.
It's a low percentage play attacking that high fastball with that long swing. He's got to get the ball down. He can drop the head on it. Ooh, good try. Will Venable Played for Scott Bradley at Princeton University, and he also played basketball there.
He was all Ivy League in both sports. Tied up by that pitch.
The big right-hander Chris Young now with the New York Mets. He played baseball and basketball there.
Oh, yeah.
Ross Ollendorf was a Princeton man too, right?
Yes.
But he just played baseball, I think.
I believe so.
A slouch.
He was more into cattle ranching. You can only do so many things with your life, you know. Two balls and two strikes.
I don't normally associate Princeton and cattle ranching.
No.
A lot of dairy farms in New Jersey, though.
Well, we'll be headed in that direction on Monday.
Yeah, Astros are off Monday, travel to New York. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, play the Metropolitans. And then on to Milwaukee over Easter weekend.
6-game road trip and then right back home. And the St. Louis Cardinals will be in. Lance Berkman has been torrid out in the desert the last few days. Roll to the right side for Bill Hall. Over to Brett Wallace. In the 5th inning, the Padres go out rather quickly. 7 straight have been retired by Bud Norris to keep this game scoreless. By the Home Depot. Here's a throw from the hole by Angel Sanchez. And he made another one. He has really been playing well, moving to his right tonight. The grounders by Mosley and Maven supporting Bud Norris. Now, Bud Norris, of course, hasn't had nearly as many ground ball outs as his fellow moundsman, Dustin Mosley, but both very effective in different ways. First pitch ball to Carlos Lee. 10 ground ball outs of the 12 outs, and one of those a line drive double play for 2 of those outs by Mosley. He's only thrown 46 pitches. But of course, strikeout pitchers run up high pitch counts, so there's a big difference in the way these two pitchers have compiled pitch counts, and a difference in the way they've been effective. Fly ball left field, headed for the big board. That bangs off the wall. Well played by Ludwig to hold him to a long single. That is very good work by Ryan Ludwig.
And Ludwig drifted back there on Brett Wallace's ball, had a chance to get it, could not. This time it was fairly easy for him to realize that this ball is either going to go out of the park or off the wall, so he was able to put on the brakes and get into position to handle the carom. Came right to him. Good strong throw. No chance for Carlos to get to him. Boy, the way this guy gets ground balls, that's a big play.
True. Keep that double play in order. That's what Ludwig did. Red Wallace double to left in the second on that other ball you talked about. Carlos takes off. Ground ball goes foul. And you brought up that point earlier to deal with that potential double play situation and all the ground balls Mosley is inducing tonight. A manager will put a runner in motion sometimes, figuring that there's probably going to be contact. He has not struck out anybody in this game.
Yeah, you know, you just never know. Carlos may have just gone on his own.
Strike to Wallace. It's 0-2. There's a perception probably that the NL West is not a great division. Usually closely contested, but of the last 12 Cy Young Award winners in the National League, 9 have come from the West. So there's that consistent pitching.
Defending World Series champion out there, so got to give them credit for what they accomplished.
Absolutely. Slowly hit. Hudson gets the lead runner and safe at first. Lee is forced from 4 to 6. Bartlett's throw down in time to double up Wallace.
Brett out in front of this one. Hudson gets that lead runner at second. No way they're going to get the double play on that ball. Too slowly hit. Important to get that lead man in a 0-0 ball game. Talk about Mosley's efficiency here tonight. He's at 52 pitches now. Red Barrett in 1944 threw a complete game using 58 pitches.
58?
Complete game.
That is ridiculous. Bill Hall lined into that double play from 7 to 4. Ball 1.
Took an hour and 15 minutes.
Milwaukee is getting a gem. Randy Wolf, the starter, 2-0. Bottom of the 8th at Pittsburgh. Cameron Lowe's in the game now. Wolf went 6 2/3 against Paul Maholm.
Pirate bats have cooled off some.
They have. Over and fouls it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 29-year-old Dustin Mosley getting a fresh start in the National League after being in the American the last 5 years.
Some guys just seem to have that knack to be able to get the ball to sink just as it gets to home plate. And other guys, some guys, it's quite apparent that they get that power sinker. You think back to Chad Qualls when he was working out of the Astros pen, or a guy like Scott Erickson had that nasty hard sinker. You don't really see that with Mosley, but he's just a good late down movement at the end. Fairly subtle, but certainly effective.
A little roller goes out to second. Hudson took a glance at second base, but had only the out at first. The Coors Light Cold Hard Blast will show you Matt Downs, and he has been drilling the ball. Oh, Downs with his first long ball, and it came as Carlos Zambrano gave it up last night. He also has 3 doubles. He's driven in 5 runs in just a few at-bats this season.
Part of that 5-run 6th inning last night as the Astros got back into the ball game and then ultimately went on to lose. Bullpen gave it up. Wilton Lopez still bothered with some elbow problems. Was not effective last night.
Down single to left center. He got the ball up, but it's been hard for the hitters to do with Mosley. Taps that foul for strike 1. Lopez was to be examined before this game tonight. It had not happened during batting practice, so we're not sure what the outcome of it was, but he reported some soreness in the elbow. And there's Wilton right now, and the fact that he is on the bench rather than in the bullpen tells you he is not going to be available for this game, probably. So it wouldn't be at all shocking if he were placed on the disabled list tomorrow. We do not have any word on that. That would be pure speculation. But last night, he, again, did not have much movement on the ball. A couple appearances ago, he didn't either. So he gave up 3 hits and 3 runs in 1/3 of an inning. Everything's pretty flat last night. Had such great sinking action last year. It wasn't the same Wilton Lopez. Mosley spins one up, gets a strikeout on downs. That's number 1 for him. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, nothing.
As we move to the 6th, tomorrow help the Astros commemorate Jackie Robinson night with a 7:05 game against the Padres. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Jackie Robinson t-shirt presented by Chevrolet, and all players and personnel will wear Jackie's number 42. Go to astros.com/Jackie for a special ticket offer so you can be here for Jackie Robinson night. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Jay Happ and Aaron Harang will be the starting pitchers tomorrow night. Very good matchup at 7:05 tomorrow night. Bud Norris in a 0-0 game, really up against it the way Dustin Mosley has been throwing. Bud, though, has retired 7 straight. It'll be Headley, Hudson, and Ludwig in the 6th inning. Headley looks at ball 1. He has a single and a walk tonight.
Astros have the advantage in that they're in their home ballpark. Padres have the advantage in that Astros are more likely going to have to make a move to the bullpen first, just based on the pitch count. And the Padres bullpen might be the best in the league.
It certainly was outstanding last year. Fastball comes in for strike 2. Many of the same components are still out there. Heath Bell, the closer, has saved 36 consecutive saves going back to last year. Mike Adams, Luke Gregerson still there from last year. Chad Qualls is now out there. And that is a very sturdy bunch.
Chad just had a miserable year last year. But if he returns to top form, he'll be overqualified for the job he's in now. I mean,
yeah.
When he was at his best, he's one of the better setup guys in the league.
Good slider striking out Headley. 6 strikeouts for Norris. Really snapped that off.
That's been a good weapon for him to the lefties. Slider running down and in towards that back foot.
He's been consistent in strikeouts. Struck out 7 in 4 innings in his first start, then 6 in 6 innings in his second. Orlando Hudson has been on twice, like Headley. He's Ball 1 to him. And like Headley, he has a single and a walk tonight. Last year, Norris ranked 5th among National League starters in strikeouts per 9 innings, averaging 9.25 per 9.
Rio the movie opens tomorrow.
You going?
Probably not. I haven't seen Rango yet. I see Rango before I see Rio.
Okay. You're getting kind of stacked up there.
I haven't even seen The Fighter.
I haven't either. 3-1. I haven't seen The King's Speech yet.
Oh, great movie. I recommend that one, and True Grit. I really enjoyed as well.
Okay. There's a hittable fastball, but fouled away. So Hudson now will have a 3-2 pitch coming. Be a good idea not to give him that same pitch, although he did foul it. Rays 2, the Twins 2, as Tampa Bay got 2 in the bottom of the 9th to send that one to extra frames in St. Petersburg. That's ball 4.
Just fell off that fastball a little bit. He didn't want to throw him another one right down the middle. He's trying to create some movement to the outside corner and just flew open, and that one got away from him.
3rd walk.
Second time he's walked Hudson, who is a threat to steal a base.
Hudson has a very good stolen base percentage for his career, and it's Ludwig batting. He has struck out and popped a second. And Dave Roberts, who had that famous stolen base in the playoffs for the Red Sox. Ooh, that had throwing error written all over it, but quick glove hand of Brett Wallace stopped it as Bud Norris bounced that pickoff throw over to first.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's really quick, and that's a nice weapon for him, but you got to be careful.
Ludwig lunges, runner going, throw on a bounce. Safe at second base. Hudson is 6 for 6 in steals. Quintero's throw came up a little short.
Did everything they could. Bud unloaded in a hurry. Watch as he brings the hands down into the set position. He just goes. So good quick delivery, but it was a breaking ball and a tough pitch for Q to handle. I don't know that he ever really got a good grip on that ball before making the throw.
Pitch was strike 1 to Ludwig. Hudson in scoring position now. And that one's out of play. The Padres have left 4. The Astros have stranded 1.
There have not been many opportunities with men in scoring position tonight. Just the third man to reach second base for the Pods. The Astros have had a couple. See Wally back in the second. Wally again in the 5th.
Strike looking, and Ludwig is called out. That's 7 strikeouts.
It's good pitching. If you think back to Ludwig's first at bat, he struck out with a man on third base and went out on a slider away. So he's protecting against that here, leaning out a little bit, and Bud runs that fastball right over the inside corner. Fox Tracks had it off the plate in agreement with Ludwig, but good pitch nonetheless.
Nick Hundley struck out and he bounced out in the hole. High school class valedictorian. That's ball 1. Nick was born in Corvallis, Oregon. His father played football at Western Oregon and was an assistant head coach at SMU and is in the NAIA Hall of Fame. Well, Nick came up in 08 with the Padres. They had drafted him in 05 in the 2nd round.
His dad's now a secondary coach at UCLA.
Strike to Hundley. That makes it 1-1. Well, Hundley and Headley have. We're going to be laughing throughout this 4 games. You just can't make it through that combo. These 2 guys have really taken care of a lot of the important hits in the early going for the Padres. Ground ball goes foul, so Norris can neutralize Hundley here, get him out. That's a very important out in this game with Speedy Hudson on at second base.
Normally you wouldn't think about being cautious with a right-handed hitter up with a left-handed hitter on deck, but because Hundley has been so good this year and Hop has really struggled, you could understand if they had adopted that strategy and were very cautious with Hundley. That's obviously not the plan because they're attacking him and they're ahead of him 1 ball 2 strikes. But with Hundley up there, at no point in this at bat should you think about giving in. You're always trying to make your pitch. If he ultimately draws the walk, so be it. Start fresh with Hop.
You saw there where Q wanted that fastball outside, and that's where he got it. Right-handed hitters have a 130 average against Bud Norris for his first 2 starts this year. Both the hits are by left-handed batters, and let's see, 3 of the walks, all 3 of the walks are to left-handed batters tonight. So Bud once again much more effective against the right-handed hitters in this game. There's a lefty hitter next. Carl Pavano went 8 shutout innings for the Twins. Joe Nathan gave up 2 in the 9th for the blown save tonight at Tampa Bay. Now it's a full count on Hundley. Hundley last year had 273 at bats. That was the most he's had in a major league season.
I think you go up and in with a fastball or slider away. Changeup.
All the back.
He's not thrown many changeups tonight, and I think that was just realization that Hundley's swinging the bat pretty well. Didn't want to challenge with a fastball. Thought maybe they could trick him with a straight change. That was in a dangerous place.
Yep. Line to right field. Hunter Pence backing on it for the grab to end the 6th inning for the Padres with no runs, no hits, and a man stranded at second base. These fans are getting up, hoping for an Astros rally. 0-0. No score, bottom of the 6th inning as they watch. They'll be seeing Quintero. And then we have Joe Inglet coming out on deck. Pitcher spot is due up next. As you see the comparison, Bud Norris has thrown 116 pitches through 6 very fine innings.
Bud cannot lose this game. If the Astros score and hang on, he can pick up the win. And it will be well deserved. Outstanding effort tonight from Bud. I think he was close last time. He pitched 6 innings last time, gave up 4 runs, 3 runs in the 6th.
Humberto Quintero gets the first pitch curve, and it's strike 1. He bounced into a 3-6-1 double play. Mosley moves it away from him. It's 1-1. 12 ground ball outs for Dustin Mosley in the first 5 innings. He has 1 strikeout. He's given up 3 hits. There have been 2 double plays. Lined out into right center field. Quintero's aboard.
They're going to call England bat and let Bud come up and drop down a sacrifice bunt.
Q now reaching base for the 8th time in his last 13 plate appearances. And Bud Norris will stride into the batter's box. He takes a glance down at Dave Clark for signs. He grounded out with 2 outs and nobody on in the 3rd inning.
Q not particularly speedy, so we'll see how aggressively the Padres defend this bunt if they try to nail him at second base.
Bunted foul. Throw goes into center field, but the ball had been called foul. Conley trying to pounce on it, but the ball was not fair when he picked it up, and Quintero goes back to first.
Square around the bunt, you want to get your bat out in front of home plate, so that doesn't happen. So you push the ball into fair territory. That's the other thing too. As the bunter in this situation, you have to remember what the opposition's trying to do, so you can't get caught not going hard out of the box in case they do go to second base. Can't afford to get doubled up.
Good bunt. Hop goes to Hudson. And the sacrifice, first of the year for Norris, gets Quintero to second, 1 out. Play from 3 to 4 gives Michael Bourne a man in scoring position now after Norris did a very fine job of getting that down in a good spot.
Allows Brad Mills to save Joe England, his only left-handed bat on the bench. I'd like to have him available a little bit later in the ball game. High fives and handshakes all around. Bud's night is done.
He can still be the winning pitcher. Michael Bourne will help to determine that. He's grounded twice to second. Looking at ball 1. He's talking around the batting cage with Mike Barnett, Astros hitting coach, about Michael. Just picked up his first bunt hit of the year. And what would be a good number for him this year? He said, no, maybe 15 to 20 bunt hits. Somebody like Michael would be a nice number to shoot for. And of course, the third baseman is usually in taking away the bunt.
And normally when he's bunting for a base hit, he's going to try to drag it out past the pitcher towards second base.
2-1. Yeah, Barney talked about that too. He said, you know, remember Tony Fernandez when he used to run up in the bucket, just kind of put his bat on the ball, hit a little ground ball, but he'd have that running start. He said he could do that to the second baseman or even the shortstop.
Yeah, just chop it to short.
Up the middle, past the diving Orlando Hudson into center field. Quintero to the plate, no throw, and it's 1-0. Maven couldn't get rid of it, and Quintero, who was sacrificed to second, scores on the Bourne single. 4th RBI for Michael Bourne. That Hudson had been playing him shallow all night. He hit it by him to his right that time.
Cheated in a little bit, but not as far as he had been earlier. This ball had a lot of pace on it. Maven makes a good decision here. The temptation, of course, is to try to nail that guy at home. And he realized he had no shot at Quintero, so then just threw the ball into second base. So many times you see it with an outfielder, their eyes get big, they want to try to make a big play and throw somebody out at home, and they allow the back runner to get into scoring position.
Bourne attracts a throw. Michael's 4 for 4 in steals.
He may have just delayed the inevitable by throwing that ball into second, because Bourne might be trying to get that bag in short order here.
Another throw goes over. He got back easily on that one. Sanchez has hit the ball on the ground both times.
Fernando Abad will be first out of the Astros pen tonight.
Fly ball right center field. Maben loping back. Takes care of out number 2. Light freeze cam will show you in twilight how it can be difficult for the fielders in this ballpark. Hunter Pence with that ball in the air for the bat of Ludwig put his hands out indicating he couldn't see it. Bill Hall made the catch. The Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by the Frost Crew at Coors Light.
Anxious moments.
Oh, do you know it?
What a bad feeling for an outfielder. I know it's somewhere in my general area, but I got no idea.
Ball gets up there in the twilight sky above the stadium lights. Good luck. Hunter has grounded out both times tonight. So to first, and Michael is back again. Michael is one of the most effective base stealers in the major leagues. 82% successful for his career. The leader among active players is Carlos Beltran, 88%. There is a strike. Got to find out more about it, JD, but there's a new stat called BRR, base runner runs, something like that.
We need more stats.
Yeah, it's a running situation. Yeah. And anyway, they attempt to quantify how many more runs a fast guy like Michael Bourne scores compared to the average base runner. And he's number 1 in the majors from last year using that stat.
So going first to third on balls that other guys do not. Scoring from second on balls that other guys do not. Right. Of that nature.
Right.
And the fact that we're stolen base in there, I'm assuming.
They must, and they came up with a figure of 13 runs for last season that Michael scored more than the average base runner would have scored. One and two, but talking with Brad Mills about the speed part of the game, which now is growing in stature as power is dropping back in stature, as pitching has been so much better the last few years. These stolen bases are getting more important now. First to third on singles, more important.
Yeah, look at the success the Anaheim Angels had with that game.
He's going on a pitch out. Hundley's throw sails and safe at second base. We beat the pitch out, and he's 5 for 5 in steals.
I think sometimes on a pitch out, it takes the catcher out of his natural rhythm. He gets upright, and almost like, you know, because it was a pitch out, he felt like he had him and he wanted to take his time. You can't afford to have that mindset with Michael Bourne, regardless of the situation. You've got to come flying out of there and make your best throw.
Now it's 2-2 to Hunter. Full count. What, 2-out stolen base like that. The way this guy is pitching now, maybe a ground ball single, scores run number 2. That could be an awfully big stolen base if Hunter can come through. That's the beauty of having a guy who's as good as Michael at stealing a base when you need it. That's ball 4. Fourth walk for Hunter Pence brings up Carlos Lee. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, on the phone to the bullpen.
Well, that's nice plate discipline by Hunter there. You know, plate discipline and Hunter, two things we normally don't put in the same sentence. He's so aggressive, and with a man in scoring position, he's usually extra aggressive. Able to lay off that borderline pitch there to work the walk.
could be very meaningful. Now they meet at the mound.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Joe Mauer and the Twins. They're off to Tampa to take on Ben Zobrist and the Rays. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this weekend. 3 Central in high def. There's Joe Mauer and there's Ben Zobrist. There's a lot of other guys going on too, but those are the guys that we're focusing on. That's Justin Morneau right there. That's Upton, I think, coming in to make a play.
You win the Know Your Twins and Rays contest for the night. Carlos Lee is 1 for 2. Padres have still not scored with Dustin Mosley on the mound this year. 18 1/3 innings.
Teammates, they must hate him. They just won't score any runs for him. And what has he done?
He just got to San Diego. What could he have done? Bouncer foul. He was with the Angels when Bud Black was the pitching coach there. So there is a history between the manager and this right-hander who's thrown the ball so well, and yet no run support. 0. Bud Norris stayed in for the sacrifice bunt, put it down. Now Michael Bourne has knocked in Quintero, and Bud Norris can be a winning pitcher thanks in no small part to that sac bunt. And of course, the way he pitched.
And Mosley has not had many hard innings tonight. Working awfully hard here in the 6th, and he's elevated the ball a little bit in this inning. He's put a good swing on him last time. Banged one off the wall.
This one goes to third. Headley with a throw, and just in time to get the sliding Pence. Orlando Hudson got there for the 5-4 force. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 men left for the Astros. It's 1-0 Houston after 6.
Brought to you by Steel. Visit SteelDealers.com. By Jack in the Box and the All-American Jack Combo. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Our pitcher's duel continues with one different duelist. Guys in the booth will tell us about the pitching change for the Astros, guys.
Lefty Fernando Abad comes in, and that's going to be our call to the pen, brought to you by Verizon, and also prompt a counter move by Bud Black. Instead of lefty hitting first baseman Brad Hoff, it's going to be right-handed hitting Jorge Cantu.
Well, we talked earlier about the Padres trying to make up for the loss of Adrian Gonzalez, so in this sense it's 2 for 1. Hoff, the left-handed hitter, and Cantu, the right-handed hitter. And Cantu, very dangerous right-handed hitter with power. As you look at the numbers for Fernando this year, 1-1 through 6 outings.
Hoff had struck out. He had fly to left. Cantu was absolutely sizzling when he came to Houston early last season with the Florida Marlins. He was on fire, and he hit a home run in that series, and he now has hit in 13 consecutive games against the Astros. 2 for 5 this season as a pinch hitter.
4 out of 25 overall, just hitting a .160, so he's off to a slow start.
Cantu then was traded to the Texas Rangers, where his production fell off drastically in the second half of the season last year. Abad falls behind him 2-0. Bud Norris throwing 116 pitches, 70 of them strikes.
Bud's cheering for a real good 2-0 pitch right here.
Yeah. 3 balls, no strikes. Maben and Bartlett to follow.
It's like Mark Melanson warming up in the Astros pen.
That's strike 1.
Again, we're not sure. Well, we saw that shot of Wilt Lopez in the dugout earlier, so we assume he's not available tonight. That certainly changes things for Brad Mills, trying to close out a 1-run game.
He drops that one in at 73 miles per hour. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Abad last night gave up 2 hits and a run. He allowed the home run to pitcher Carlos Zambrano of the Cubs in his 1 inning. And this time he comes back and whiffs Cantu. Falling behind 3-0, and the breaking stuff worked for him.
3-1 changeup, 3-2 changeup. That changeup sometimes will look like a curveball because his hand will get around the other side of it and just kind of float across the plate. But he really sells it. Has a quick hand, quick arm speed, and then instead of 89-90, it's 72 miles an hour.
There's a changeup with some break on it. Good movement. Now Maben has fly to center and hit a grounder, and now shortening up, looking at ball 1. Norris walked 3 and fanned 7 in his 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Bunted. Abad into play at bare hands and throws. Safe. Front single for Maben.
A good try down there by Brett Wallace. Wally trying to cheat off the bag a little bit to get the call from Jerry Davis. Maben can really fly. Abad plays it well.
That's hit number 3 for the Padres. The first 2 hits came in the first inning. Melanson's been warming up. Jason Bartlett, a right-handed hitter, on deck. Then the pitcher's spot. So Brad Mills comes out to chat. Melanson was really impressive last night, striking out 2 of the 3 he faced in his quick 1-2-3 inning. And the move is made to the bullpen here. Abad gets 1 out, gives up the bunt single, and it is Mark Melanson with a score. Houston 1, San Diego 0. Back in a moment.
on the all-time strikeout list. The Express beats lefty 6-3.
Dramatic music.
Yeah. Undaunted.
Right-hander Pat Neshek and another right-hander. Luke Gregerson warming up for the Padres. Here's the Astros' hot hand from their bullpen, Mark Melanson, with an ERA of 0.
7 times he's trotted out there, and 7 times he's been very good. 7 strikeouts, no walks. Worked a scoreless 8th last night with a couple of punch-outs. The trade-off here, of course, it may have been a better chance of stealing a base with Melanson on the mound than with the lefty Abad, but you've got the advantage over the hitter in the box, right on right, and that's what you would prefer.
Jason Bartlett with a grounded to third, a fly ball to center, comes around for the 3rd time. And the throw goes over. Mark Melanson really has commanded more and more important assignments by the way he's pitched this season. He pitched well last year. But now, with Wilton Lopez possibly going down, he is much more prominent. Stayed in Houston to work on his stuff after last season ended. He wanted to put some things together before he went home. Now, that's very rare. He came down to the ballpark and worked with Javier Bracamonte on some things before he took off after last season came to a close.
Q out there telling him, hey, don't worry too much about Maben. Let me take care of him.
Melanson's one of only 6 relievers in the National League not to allow an earned run in at least 6 innings of work this year. Had the big curveball working last night, and he located it extremely well. Bouncer in the hole to his left. Downs, quick throw, Bill Hall out at first, and a double play cleans it up here in the 7th inning. Well turned by Hall. No runs, a hit. The Astros turn their 11th double play. Good feed from Downs. 1-0 Houston. A 1-0 ball game. Very well pitched, well played game. The Astros get a double play as Melanson induces the ground ball from Bartlett.
Boy, a great turn by Hall. Maben with that great speed got on top of him, but Hall able to hang in there and make the turn. That's a big play.
Yeah.
Not able to really get anything going forward, but strong enough arm to get it over there just in time.
He had that clock in his head. He didn't even move his feet. Jorge Cantu takes over at first base after pinch hitting for Brad Hawk. And the Astros bat in the 7th inning. A chance for Mosley to stay in the game, and then he will be leaving for a pinch hitter as the next inning opens. In 6 innings, he's allowed just 5 hits and a run. Brett Wallace leads it off. He has a double in 2 trips. It's the curveball. 20,045 is the paid attendance. All and downs to follow. Mosley missing in, goes to a 1-1 count. He has really conserved his pitches well tonight. He still has not reached the 80 pitch mark for this game. It's 2-1, but the Astros scratched out a run in the 6th to break the scoreless tie. Playing some small ball. Single by Quintero, a sac bunt. Bourne RBI single. Topped. Cantu with the toss, and he gets it to Mosley for out number 1.
He's had the Astros out in front of that breaking ball all night long. He was on a little weak ground balls, not able to stay back and stay through the ball.
Well, if you count the bunt by Norris, that's 15 ground ball outs. There's the distribution of pitches. 18 in the 6th inning, running that count up to 80 now. It's Bill Hall. He lined into a double play and grounded out.
The pride of Nettleton, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Little town by the railroad tracks of 2,000.
Well, maybe back in the day somebody took a train from Nettleton to Union Station in Houston. There's ball 1. The old train station, more than a century old. One hopper. Dudley takes care of that one. Ooh, the throw was wide, but Cantu was able to lunge and keep a foot on the bag for the 2nd out. Good adjustment by Cantu. Footwork is really important for a first baseman to be able to do what he just did. To wait until he sees where that throw is headed before he gets the footwork going. Now Downs, who's 1 for 2. Boy, he has filled in very capably. There's ball 1. Chris Johnson getting a 2nd straight night off after being hit by a pitch, and Downs singled in the 3rd.
Yeah, you know, this is not a situation where Brad Mills is contemplating making Downs his everyday third baseman. That's still CJ's job. But what Matt Downs has done with his good work here early is obviously he's got Brad Mills thinking a little bit about getting him some more playing time. So whether he's spotting CJ every now and then, or maybe he gets a start at 2nd or short, first, you know, wherever, give him a chance to get that bat in the lineup, see what he can do for you.
That's true. 2 balls and a strike to Matt Downs from the University of Alabama.
Now, I don't know what the magic number is when you start a season. You've got young players in your everyday lineup. How many at bats or months or weeks or whatever it is you give them to prove themselves, but you don't pull the plug early.
Sharply hit off the glove or by Headley. Might have gotten some leather on it, but it was hit hard for a single, and it's tough to take him out. He's 2 for 3 again tonight.
Hanging breaking ball was begging to be slapped.
He's hitting .500, 7 for 14. Had a .917 slugging percentage when this night began. Humberto Quintero got the rally started with his single to right center and came around to score. He's 1 for 2. Jason Michaels on deck. Pitcher spot next. That's strike 1. And the throw goes over on Downs. Orioles 5, Yankees 5, bottom of the 10th at Yankee Stadium. Kansas City 5, Seattle 1. there's a delay in Kansas City in the 8th inning. Wilson Betterman hit his first homer. It's 1-1. Florida and Atlanta are in the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. Florida 6, Atlanta 5.
Canadians beat the Bruins 2-0. Stanley Cup playoffs are underway, Brownie.
Oh, they're in the play. Okay. What? That makes some sense then. Don't you hate it when the playoffs sneak up on you like that? How long have they been going now? A month or what?
Haven't even started my playoff beard.
1-2. Was it the 04 Astros started playoff beards, right? A bunch of guys had beards that year. A little different in baseball. You start them months ahead of time.
Start them in hopes that you make the playoffs.
Outside for Quintero. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Q's really off to a good, solid start this year. Catching well and providing hits. And the number 8 spot in the lineup. Combination of Quintero and Tolles have provided a high batting average and on base average for the number 8 hitters. We're talking about little things. Well, you know, when a club is strapped to hit for power, it's nice to have contact, and if the number 8 guy can chime in with a decent batting average, get on base a fair amount of the time, that can help move the line along. 91 pitches now for Mosley. Line drive hit to left. Downs takes the turn and will hold on there. Quintero is 2 for 3. He's been getting the multi-hit games too.
He normally tries to shoot the ball the other way, but this was an off-speed pitch that moved in a little bit. He stayed on it. He yanked it to left field. Good swing of the bat there by Q.
That's his 3rd multi-hit game on this homestand of the 4 starts he's had.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, moving the line. Just only have 27 outs to play with in a game. You've got to cherish those outs. Last year the Astros, so many 1, 2, 3 innings.
They sure did. Mark Melanson's going to bat. And this speaks to the situation with Wilton Lopez and to how well Melanson has been throwing. And he is not coming out of this game. Strike 1 to him.
A sabermetician, a numbers cruncher, would tell you this is not the proper strategy, that it's worth it to pinch hit here and take your chances with whoever you bring out of that bullpen. But when you're the manager, it's your responsibility to make that call. That's a little tougher than to just buy into the numbers.
Ooh. First plate appearance for Mark Melancon in the big leagues. No balls, 2 strikes. It would be a tough decision if Melancon came out here for a pinch hitter as far as who pitched the 8th inning. Jeff Fulcino down there. Mario Del Rosario. Possibilities.
And that's the other thing. You never know when you're sitting up here or you're watching at home. You're sitting and saying you don't know who's available, who's a little tender. You just don't know how many arms the manager has at his disposal on any given night.
2-2 to Melancon.
And of course, back in the old days, you pinch hit here, and then you just bring Brandon Lyon in to give you a couple innings. Back in the Goose Gossage and those guys.
Broken bad roller. You're right. It's a totally different way of using those closers. Sometimes they give you 3 innings.
And then if they weren't available, you just use somebody else in that role the next night. Actually, I think is a good way to go, but I'm in the minority there. Most just about all major league managers now do it this way. I don't know anybody who doesn't.
Not sure whose bat he just broke.
Sorry, man. Can I have another one?
He's wearing Jason Bourgeois' batting helmet. So maybe he can get that karma of Jason pinch hitting. Oh, Downs I think this is a good idea. The 2 outs, 2 men on, 2 strikes, the pitcher at the plate. Just try to distract the pitcher a little bit. See if he can make something happen on a limited basis without going crazy out there. That is a ball. Everybody was walking off, and it's ball 3.
Even Melanson was walking off.
Wow. That's crazy. Everybody's leaving. Melanson, Mosley, Hundley. Hold on, Phil.
Said, wait a minute, guys. Everybody back in place. Places, everyone.
Now 3-2. 2 outs, 2 on. Runners go. And it's foul. Watch out. This is interesting stuff. Bud Black hoping Mosley can finish it out here and then leave for the pinch hitter.
Oh, boy. If he dumps one into right field and scores a run, Buddy Black's going to go nuts.
He will be, very, very unhappy with that outcome. Yankees got a run in the 10th and beat the Orioles 6-5. Mariano Rivera the winner. Mike Gonzalez lost it. And that's ball 4. Wow. Bases are loaded for Michael Bourne. Second walk for Dustin Mosley. Things are getting a little crazy here, and Bud Black is on his way. Melanson draws a walk in his first major league plate appearance.
A team that never walks, hardly ever walks, and Melanson gets up there and works a walk. But maybe he was just going with the old 50-50.
Right.
So I'll take one. Hopefully it's out of the zone. If I'm swinging, nothing good's going to happen anyway.
Well, he did foul off some pitches and then recognized that one was out of the zone, or had decided no matter what not to swing, whatever the case might be. He's on base. So now this move to let him bat is looking very good. And home plate umpire Todd Pitchner out.
It's that borderline pitch, and the thing that gets everybody's attention, of course, is when the hitter thinks he's out. Because when we showed you Fox tracks, it looked like, it was a borderline call, could have gone either way. But when the hitter thinks he's out, and he starts walking off, that gets the other manager's attention.
Dustin Mosley, with the bases loaded, takes his leave in a 1-0 game. Back in a moment.
Junior Bobby rile up the crowd. Take the Astros with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv tonight to see every Astros game live or on demand on your computer or your favorite devices. Visit Astros.com to order and get more details. That's MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Plenty of pitching tonight. Corey Lupke, 0-1 with an ERA of 11.37, comes in with the bases loaded to face Michael Bourne.
His last outing a couple days ago against the Reds in an 8-2 11-inning loss to Cincinnati. He's the guy that gave it up. He gave up 6 runs in 1 inning in that ball game. And hard throwing left-hander. A tall drink of water.
That's strike 1 on appeal to the third base umpire. Michael Bourne distressed with the Greg Gibson call. Lupke, 26 years old, from Coldwater, Ohio. Went to Ohio State. Michael saw left-hander Sean Marshall a couple of times in the series just completed with the Chicago Cubs. He got in 4 games with the Padres last year, 3 of those as a starter. He was at AA San Antonio and AAA Portland as well. Supplemental pick in 07. It's 2-1. First time Lupke's been on an opening day roster. Bourne fouls it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Michael.
Talked about this a lot recently with Michael's situation, like this tough lefty, guy he hasn't seen before. 2 strikes, bases juiced, spread out a little bit. Just use your hands, put the ball in play. Just move the ball. Punch it somewhere, slap a ground ball.
Now 3-2, and another run here could be very large for the Astros.
And the other thing that does too is it quiets you down a little bit. You shorten the stroke and just wait, see the ball a tick longer. Almost have a defensive approach at the plate, just trying to punch one somewhere. And it's out of the zone. Go ahead and take the walk. Get the RBI that way.
Very important 3-2 pitch coming from Lupke to Bourne. And a strikeout ends it in the Astros 7th with no runs, 2 hits, 3 men stranded. We move to the 8th, 1-0 Houston. Inning arrives, and Mark Melancon, who came in to get the double play ball off the bat of Bartlett, then was allowed to bat. He drew a walk to load the bases in the bottom of the 7th inning. He stays in now, and the 8th will find a pinch hitter leading it off, Eric Patterson, for Bud Black, as Dustin Mosley leaves after 6 2/3 innings of 7 hit 1 run baseball. Walking 2, fanning 1. Mosley threw 100 pitches, 66 of them strikes.
He was very good. He's been good all 3 times he's gone to the hill for the Padres. He just can't get any runs. So you could say that was a Bartlett pair, the double play by Jason Bartlett.
I like that. Very good. Now it's Patterson pinch hitting. Batting for Lubke, who got the all-important bases loaded strikeout on Michael Bourne for his only out. And now still 1-0 with Melanson working to this left-handed hitter. Eric Patterson, 28 years old, the older brother of, well, the younger brother of Corey Patterson. He's been to several major league clubs. Takes ball 1. Eric was drafted by the Cubs also. He was 1 for 5 this season with an RBI, but then moved along to Oakland and Boston before the Padres got him in a deal last winter. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking around the batting cage tonight about Mark Melanson with bullpen coach Jamie Quirk. He said, well, certainly Mark has the stuff to move up in the pecking order in the bullpen. Got a mid-90s fastball, that big curveball. Just a matter of growing into an opportunity if a different role is presented to him.
The current state of the Astros pen, he's going to get plenty of opportunities.
2-2. Well, last year he had 22 appearances for the Yankees and Astros, 8 holds. And a lot of times it seems he would come in about the 7th inning, maybe in the 6th, with a couple of men on base and 2 outs. He was involved in the Lance Berkman trade. Fouled away and
catches interference.
Okay. So Patterson now reaches. Quintero looking around after that catcher's interference call and brings out Brad Mills.
E2, no at bat.
Bat hits the catcher's mitt. It's interference. Hard to see on that.
Normally that's a call the umpire will make because he hears it. You'll hear that contact with the mitt and then the ball.
Will Venable is 0 for 3. Downs is creeping in at third base. A runner takes off from first. Quintero with the throw. Sanchez tags, safe at second. Stolen base by Patterson. That's big for the Padres.
Wasting no time going on first pitch. Good throw by Q, but Patterson able to beat it. Very close down there at second base. Padres collect speed guys, it seems. Right on the money. Going to get a good look here. Here comes the tag. Safe. Good call.
Sam Holbrook on the call. Now Wallace comes in tight at first base. Downs is in close at third with the count 0-1. And taking it, Venable looks at ball 1. 1-1. Padres now have 14, make it 15 stolen bases in 19 attempts. They were tied for first in the league in steals coming into this game.
Steal third is typically reserved for 1-out situations. But when you got a real speedy guy out there, you can't make any assumptions. You have to make sure you keep an eye on him.
Venable would love to be able to get this runner over to third. Sanchez jockeying behind Patterson there at second. Time is called. At the very least, Venable would like to be able to advanced Patterson to third base on out number 1. Patterson edging off second, but he swings and misses. Quintero makes a throw, now play at third. Wallace with the throw to bounce, not in time to get him. So he does get to third, even on a strikeout.
You talk about small ball. Keep playing the game as a strikeout, and you're able to advance to third. You see the ball in the dirt, Quintero on it, and he takes a look at Patterson. You can't wait too long before making that throw to third. Maybe could have looked him back one more step, but that's just great speed. 2 long throws from catcher to first and then first all the way across the diamond. You're not going to get a guy like Eric Patterson infield in.
Good play by Downs there, leaving his feet to prevent the run from scoring. Headley's the batter. He has a single and a walk, also a strikeout. Hudson's on deck in the 8th. That's ball 1 from Melanson.
Eric Patterson, take your eyes off Quintero at your own peril here.
To Headley. Padres have one of their worst seasons in history for the first 11 games in terms of batting average. Trying to get this runner home now to tie the game.
What a rally, huh? Catcher's interference, stolen base, strikeout, advance on the ball in the dirt.
Yeah. And now 3-0. Dodgers got a run in the first and lead St. Louis 1-0 after 1 with Hiroki Kuroda on the mound against Jaime Garcia. It's 3-1 for Mark Melanson. Minnesota got a run in the top of the 10th, but Tampa Bay bounced back with 2 in the bottom half to beat the Twins 4-3. Kyle Farnsworth the winner. Matt Capps the loser. Johnny Damon hit his 3rd homer. And now runners at first and third on the walk to Headley for Hudson. 4th walk for Houston pitchers tonight. Brad Mills is coming out.
Nobody throwing in the bullpen, so this is more a conversation of how he wants to play his infield.
Hudson's been on all 3 times, a single and 2 walks.
Well, this week, NASCAR and Fox moves to Talladega Superspeedway, where Kevin Harvick looks to defend his title and continue his climb up the drivers' standings. He's having a heck of a year. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing begins Sunday. The pre-race show. It's delivered by Pizza Hut at 11 a.m. It's in high def, and it's on Fox. Round and round they go. No right turns there, all left turns. And a lot of right turns tonight in this ballpark.
Orlando Hudson, who has not bounced into a double play this season, runs very well. He's a batter with men on first and third and 1 out. Now hitting .333. His single in the first inning extended his hitting streak to 10 games. Infielders moving in to play at halfway. Strike 1 from Melanson. Cliff Lee and the Phillies shut out Washington 4-0 on 3 hits. Beating Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman was perfect through 5. Carlos Ruiz hit his 2nd home run. Patterson's at third. Headley at first. Chop foul, and it's 0-2.
These are the situations when the Astros had Chad Qualls a few years ago. He was so good at because of his sinker. Got a lot of ground balls. He could clean up an inning. Lanson more of a power pitcher. His profile is a guy that can beat you up in the strike zone with that fastball and get you to swing and miss at the curveball.
Strikeout would certainly be welcome right here on the Houston bench. Little dribbler goes foul. And with Mark had a good ratio, 7 strikeouts for his first 6 innings this season. And he added number 8 on Venable. That would be a great outcome for him. With Ludwig on deck.
Now 2 ways to go here. No balls and 2 strikes. High heater or that power curveball down in the dirt. And if you're going to make that pitch, you got to make it with conviction. You got to trust that your catcher can block it for you.
He did that last night. There it is. Hudson's not offering, and it's 1-2. Lanson struck out Soriano and Colvin last night, back to back. The Astros had the edge in hits, 7-3. Houston has the only error in the game. Nothing doing for the base runners. Bud Norris now has 2 consecutive shutout starts against the Padres. 7 innings last year and 6 innings tonight. Now it's 2-2.
Pretty keen eye there by Orlando Hudson.
Sure was.
This ball over the plate, but down a little bit.
Hudson has a career .346 on base average coming into this season. Bounce to first. Wallace comes home. Quintero with a tag on Patterson. They get him. 2 outs.
They didn't get their double play ball, but a big out recorded here. Chopper to Wallace. His only play is to come home. Patterson is moving with contact. You see Q with that left leg out there to push him off a home plate. Patterson tries to go in back door to that back corner and just no chance to get there. Nice play all the way around.
From 3-2, Quintero forced him to the outside and put the tag on him as he was trying to go in the back door. And Wallace got that ball to Q quickly enough so he could brace for that play. Now Ludwig is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. The runners at first and second. He fouls at strike 1. Hadley the runner at second, and it's Hudson on at first. Bud Black's club did the clutch hitting yesterday with Hudson delivering that game winner in the 9th to beat Cincinnati 3-2. Shutout so far tonight. Pop back. No balls, 2 strikes. Very well pitched game by Mosley tonight.
He's in jeopardy of being 0-3 with an ERA below 2.
Oh. Yeah, he was 2.08 before tonight. Gave up 1 run in 6 2/3. Florida beat Atlanta 6-5. Brian Sanchez winning, beating Eric O'Flaherty. He went for it and struck out. What a job by Mark Melancon, pitching around the catcher's interference, and he preserves a 1-0 Houston lead. Depth right now, bringing in Luke Gregerson, who last year was one of the top setup men in the National League. Eric Patterson stays in to play left field. Ryan Ludwig checking out of the game with an 0 for 4 night, and Gregerson goes in the double switch in the number 4 spot in the order with a 1.69 ERA and a trailing situation here, showing you that Bud Black believes that with his Hundley, Cantu, and Maben threesome coming up in the 9th inning, he's got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, that's just the way they have to play the game, and he's got so many talented arms out there. He has the luxury of using a guy like Gregerson, who normally would be in a game that they're trying to preserve a lead in a situation like this. The addition of a guy like Chad Qualls is going to really pay off for them in situations like this. Donnie mentioned Gregerson lights out last year. 80 times he went to the hill for the Padres last year. 78 innings, 89 strikeouts, just 18 walks.
Angel Sanchez with the Astros looking for insurance runs, with Brandon Lyon warming up in the bullpen. Comes up 0 for 3, 5-game hitting streak on the line. The relievers have gotten some key outs in this game tonight. There's ball 1.
Pretty much fastball slider from Gregerson, occasional changeup.
Down with that one, 2-0. Lupke came in with the bases loaded, struck out Bourne for the Padres. You see Lyon in the Astros bullpen alongside bullpen coach Jamie Quirk. And then Abad struck out Cantu pinch hitting. Melanson getting key outs. The bullpen's performing well in this game. Line drive left field. Patterson over. 1 out. Sanchez 0 for 4. Hunter Pence is 0 for 2 with a walk. Andy Wolf in Milwaukee stopped Pittsburgh at PNC 4-1, beating Paul Maholm. Brewers with Zach Greinke working his way back from an injury. Looking pretty good in recent days.
It's a simulated game today, yesterday maybe. But Sean Markham pitched well for them yesterday.
Yeah. Pence fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Gregerson set a major league record for holds with 40 last year. He appeared in 80 games. Began his career with the Cardinals. Traded for Khalil Green. Fly ball right. Venable. 2 outs.
Khalil Green, the Jeff Spicoli look-alike. Where is Khalil Green now?
I don't think he's playing anywhere anymore.
Suffered with an anxiety disorder.
Yes.
A talented-looking player when he first came to the big leagues.
Really, really was. He had a good RBI year or 2 with the Padres. Excellent fielder. Acrobatic shortstop. Carlos Lee is 1 for 3. Swings through that one, and it's strike 1 for Gregerson. Gregerson, a 28th round pick of the Cardinals in 06. A very important guy among bullpen performers in the majors this year now, after the year he had a year ago.
Kind of a Larry Anderson-esque. Andy used to throw one slider after another and just slot it down and away to the right-handed hitters.
Well, he sure did. He lived with that pitch, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, Gregerson doesn't throw as many sliders as Larry, but it's a real good weapon for him. Andy threw nothing but, pretty much.
Two balls and a strike.
So much so, when Larry Anderson threw a fastball, everybody in the dugout will look at each other. Did he throw a fastball? Was that a fastball?
What's he doing?
Yeah.
Boy, he was fun to be around. 3 balls and a strike. That bullpen in 86, Andy, Charlie Kerfeld, Dave Smith. Never a dull moment, JD.
No, Senor Smoke.
Yeah, Julio Lopez. It's a walk to Lee, and with 2 outs, Carlos heads for first for Brett Wallace. Wallace has a double in 3 trips. Padre bullpen has worked the second most innings in the majors, 43 1/3. We get a pinch runner, Jason Bourgeois, at first for Carlos Lee. Jason will make one of those school appearances at the Honor Roll School tomorrow morning. Comes in for an appearance in the late going of this one. Takes his lead. He's been known to come off the bench and provide excitement. He draws a throw from Gregerson.
Last year, base runners 7 out of 7 when trying to steal with Gregerson on the mound.
Hundley has thrown out 36% in the early going. Both these clubs have an excellent stolen base percentage. The Astros now 9 of 10 for the season, with Bourne's steal back in the 6th inning. They take 90% for the year. Bill Hall's on deck. Bourgeois is going to attract attention because he is very aggressive when he's put in as a pinch runner. This season he's 3 for 4. Certainly that's one topic that teams go over in their pre-series meeting. And it comes out of the chute. It's ball 1 to Wallace.
Gregerson quick pitched him that time. Do whatever you can to try to upset the timing of the base runner over there. Padres play so many close low-run games. You know, it's a point of emphasis for them every spring to talk about shutting down the running game. Everybody does, but I imagine they do it a little bit more than most.
He's going on his throw. Not in time. Bourgeois is amazing. Come right off the bench cold and steal a bag in a tight game. That's number 4.
It worked awfully hard to keep him at first, but at the end of the day, Jason wins the battle.
Good look at Foxmo as he slithers along the ground head first. That's a good head first slide. Wallace takes a pitch down and in, and it's 2-1. There is a knack for that head first slide. He showed how to do it. Staying low and keeping away from injury. Now they're going to put Wallace on. Intentional walk here with a count 2-1 and work to Bill Hall.
I didn't think it was possible to play a 3-hour 1-0 game, but I think we're going to do it.
We'll make it. Check this out.
Yeah, I see how he's very low profile as he comes into the base, not diving up in the air like, you know, those shots of Pete Rose from back in the day and just slamming into the ground.
That's right.
No key there is hang on tight. Sometimes you see those guys overslide the bag.
2 men on for Bill Hall now. He gets another shot at extending his hitting streak. It's an 8-game streak. He's 0 for 3. Line to left into a double play and has grounded out twice. Matt Downs is on deck. Boy, a hit here could go a long way for Brandon Lyon with a 1-0 lead. Ferguson delivers, and it's strike 1 to Hall.
I imagine Bud Norris would appreciate a little breathing room too. Looking at his first win of the year.
I know that. Brandon Lyons had plenty of time. Hundley, Cantu, and Maben due up in the Padre ninth inning. Gregerson's from Park Ridge, Illinois. It's 1-1. Padre bullpen was really adept at protecting a slim lead last season in the late innings. Now trying to keep it at a 1-0 deficit for the ninth. Ground ball, and Bartlett gets in front of it, goes to second for the force play. And that's the way the eighth inning ends, on a 6-4 force on Wallace. No runs, no hits, 2 men left. Moving to the ninth, it's 1-0 Houston.
Duel here at Minute Maid Park tonight as the Astros lead this one 1-0. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. That means we're just a few minutes away, hopefully, from Astros Live. Join Steve Sparks and myself. We'll have a recap of this one, check in with Brownie and JD, and also hear from the skipper, Brad Mills. It's all coming up after the game on Astros Live as we head back up to the booth to Bill Brown. Brownie.
Well, thanks, Kev, and it'll be interesting to hear from Brad Mills on the way he has utilized the bullpen in this game tonight. Now, pitcher number 4, as Jason Bourgeois stays into play left field after pinch running for Carlos Lee, will be Brandon Lyon in to try to preserve this 1-0 lead. It'll be Hundley to lead it off, then Cantu, then Maben due up, and Lyon comes in shooting for save number 2, JD.
And working for the 5th time this year, that inflated ERA due to that opening day debacle in Philadelphia. Slowly but surely, he will whittle away at that, and ultimately will probably end up with pretty good numbers this year. Solid work from Brandon last year.
Fouled off the mask of Quintero by Hundley. Strike one. Hundley's 0 for 3. Well, since that opening day loss and the blown save, when he gave up 6 hits and 3 runs in 1/3 of an inning, he's pitched 3 scoreless innings. He got a save in Cincinnati. This one to center field. Michael Bourne out into right center for the grab. Well, Brett Myers said it the other day. He tries to get outs to center field in this ballpark, and Michael Bourne is one reason.
Yeah, you got a lot of room out there, so you can make a mistake, and you've got one of the fastest players in baseball covering that turf for you.
Look at how spacious that outfield is as he positions for Jorge Cantu. Cantu struck out in the 7th inning on that Fernando Abad changeup. He looks at ball 1 here. Well, Lyon saved the 3-2 game in Cincinnati last Thursday. One hopper to shortstop. Sanchez. 2 outs. He had to get Ramon Hernandez, a catcher with 2 men on to get his first save of the year. Then he pitched Monday night, a hitless inning in a 5-4 loss for the Astros here against the Cubs. Now 1 out away from saving Bud Norris's first win of the year. And it's Maben who put down a bunt for a hit in the 7th, 1 for 3. Lyon had 19 saves last year after the 31st of July, tied for tops in the majors. And it's ball 1. An opening day assignment. It was very chilly. Gave up 6 singles. 3 of those were broken bat hits. Breaking ball looks better tonight than it did on that day. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last Astros 1-0 win was against Arizona August 21st, 2009. The Padres have been blanked twice this year in Dustin Mosley's first 2 starts. It may be happening to him a 3rd straight time.
Yeah.
Bourne back into right center field for the final out. Lyon picks up his 2nd save. Bud Norris his first win. And the Astros get their first shutout victory of the season. In 2 hours and 57 minutes, they win it with a final score of 1-0.